Hi everyone, my name is Katie and I'm here to talk to you all about something that, in my opinion, is extraordinarily relevant to not only this class, but to your lives and futures in general. So that something is Connexus. So I'm sure that you all have maybe never heard of that word before. I honestly hadn't either until just quite recently when I had watched this fantastic TED Talk by this wonderful woman named Dr. Amy Cuddy, who is an American psychologist and an expert on kinesics, or better known as the study of body language. But before I go into what Dr. Cuddy was talking about in her own speech and how changing your body language can affect your life, I need to demonstrate to you the importance of body language. So to do so, I need you to look at how I'm standing and physically presenting myself right now while I'm talking to you all. You all may have your own opinions about my vibes, the way I kind of carry myself and come off to you all right now, but generally, my body language right now, it's very open and positive. I have a good stance. I'm standing up straight and my posture is pretty solid. I'm talking with my hands and just generally, you can see that I'm standing very openly. I am very receptive. I'm also not hiding my hands or wobbling around or playing with my hair or doing anything that's super distracting. My body language is super open and it allows you to focus more on what I'm actually saying versus what I'm doing with my body. But what if I was presenting myself differently? What if I were slouching or my hands were behind my back, maybe in my pockets? Or what if I wasn't really making a lot of eye contact and was kind of looking around the room or at the ground, not really looking at you guys? What if I was kind of maybe shifting back and forth on my feet or playing with my hair? This isn't really a very open or positive stance, is it? Think about how figures in your life that you look up to, that you see as good, competent speakers, that you see as figures of authority, hold themselves when they speak to you. It's much more like the stance I'm using now than like the one I was doing earlier where I was slouching with my hands behind my back. If a professor or a police officer or any figure of authority was standing in a similar position and spoke to you how I was doing earlier in a slouched and sloppy position, it would be harder for you to see them as someone to look up to or as someone who you can consult on matters needing an expert's opinion, wouldn't it? Now, bad body language doesn't mean that you are incompetent or an incapable person, but it's something for us to be conscious of our body language because it affects the way that others view us. In an article by James Clear, he mentions that you wouldn't show up to an interview in a t-shirt, would you? No, because first impressions are pretty important. And if you can't physically look the part that you're trying to play, you may not get it. And in an increasingly competitive job market and in an Instagrammable world, it has become more and more important every day to look good on the outside and just as good as you look on the inside. But how can we present ourselves better with better body language? And how do we utilize body language in order to empower ourselves and to not only come off as confident, but to feel confident? This is where Dr. Cuddy's article comes in again. In her TED Talk, she mentions a concept known as power posing. She says that doing a few power poses before a big interview or an important meeting can help you look, act, and feel more confident and capable when you actually go into that interview or meeting or whatever it might be. There are tons of power poses, but here's one that I believe is the most important and one that you can do in the bathroom mirror before any meeting. So this pose is known as the Wonder Woman pose. See how I smile and hold myself high? I have my hands on my hips, my legs are in a wide stance, my chest is puffed out. To simply just look at yourself in the mirror doing this pose can make you feel more confident because it can stimulate positive hormone production in your body, like the production of endorphins, adrenaline, and testosterone. All these hormones can make you feel stronger, more capable, and more powerful. They say that the last thing you say in your speech is the most important. and the thing that your audience will remember most at the end of the day. So even if you all have your doubts about my speech and the importance of body language, I'd like you all to just give the Wonder Woman pose or any other pose that you can think of just one try before your next nerve-wracking test or a big interview that you have coming up. I think that you'll be pretty surprised by the results. So thank you all so much for listening, and I hope that you all enjoyed it. Do you have any questions?
No.